Hi, I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, today I want to continue to give you an update on the month of March because I see so many things that are about to occur that I felt the need to give you a second video concerning March of 2020 because what's been occurring, the coronavirus, the fear, the anxiety, the major shifts and changes that are happening are going to really happen. You're going to see some events that you never thought could happen. And already that's what's happening with the coronavirus because this year, remember, I've been telling everyone that at the point in February where Rahu is in Ardra and Ketu is in Mula, that this is the time to expect radical things in the likes of a catastrophe like 2001. Remember, I've been talking about this. I urged everyone, strengthen your immune system. And not only that, this is an event that will be so extreme that we can't imagine it. Yes, I was saying that every time that Rahu goes into Ardra and Ketu is in Mula, that this is the time of catastrophic events. And here we are. So once again, how many times have I told everyone the last time that Rahu and Ketu were here in Ardra and Mula was 2001. The other time, 18 and a half years ago before that, was 1982, which was the AIDS virus. And there are so many instances when Rahu goes in Ardra and Ketu goes into Mula that we have had major pandemics. It is truly amazing. I'm going to do an entire video on that because it needs this attention. Now, the time before that was 1963 when President Kennedy was assassinated, then going backwards to 1945, 18 and a half years ago, we had the bombing of Hiroshima. I even took it back to 18 and a half years prior to that and arriving at 1927. And at that time, it was a major event where there was one of the worst earthquakes ever that occurred in China. Plus, on top of that, there was a flu pandemic that killed thousands. So I don't think I need to take it back anymore, but the facts are this. This is a time in history that rivals nothing else. We have not seen nothing yet. So I want to give you a little bit about what the next few weeks are going to be about, which I noticed that it's going to be extremely volatile. Now, Rahu and Ketu being in these nakshatras, it started February 12th and it continues till April 22nd. I do think that around April 22nd, once Rahu leaves Ardra, that things will start to restore, but not completely because we still will have Ketu and Mula. But here's the thing, I do expect that these extremes will calm down with the coronavirus around the end of May and June. But we have a ways to go right now because the next 2 weeks expect things to be very volatile. Why? We have the Kala Sarpa Yoga that is forming on and off as the moon goes within the reigns of Rahu and Ketu and out. But the Kala Sarpa Yoga will continue on and off till around the end of May. And that's when Mercury will break the cycle going into Gemini. But what is a Kala Sarpa Yoga? It is when all the planets are on one side of Rahu and Ketu. And with these nakshatras that we have, expect the most extreme events that we have seen in a very, very long time. So the Kala Sarpa Yoga actually means the time serpent yoga, which means that things that are going to be happening will be very extreme. And not only will they be very extreme, but they have a karma to them, that this is the time something must occur to change the course that humanity is on. And I believe everything happens for a reason, and it's happening for a divine reason, to create balance in the world, because humanity has gotten out of balance. Remember that the nakshatra mula is all about destruction. And why must this destruction occur? Because it is to bring balance back, to clear the air, to clean the ugliness that's been going on. And as we well know, most of the time, if not all the time, people don't change unless they have to. And now we will have to change. So what's going to be happening the next 2 weeks? I see that March 22nd through March 23rd, I see a very, very important date. Because on that day, Mars will conjunct Pluto at 0 degrees of Capricorn, and Ketu will cross over the previous eclipse degree that was 9-10 degrees of Sagittarius. Remember, these eclipse degrees are like landmines, and when planets cross over them, events occur. So I'm predicting that March 22nd, 23rd, something will be revealed, and it is going to be a really big event. So I want to say something else at this time. For so many years, or so much time during this year, I could never bring myself to get a sense for the next presidential election. And I have vacillated back and forth on whether or not there will be an election. And I also get that those that are running for president, there's going to be a huge change. Okay, so looking at this time frame, now I know we are all in a lockdown as I speak with the coronavirus. There's fear rampant everywhere, and fear is the emotion of all negativity. And what I've often said, and I quote this from my book, Awaken to the Power Within You, that fear breeds disease and disease breeds fear. And that's what's rampant right now. But let me say, on this date, all three presidential candidates, President Trump, Bernie Sanders, and Joe Biden, they are all in the public eye, and they are all shaking hands and with crowds of people. All three of them are susceptible, if not definitely exposed to this coronavirus, and we all know how contagious it is. Something is coming up with this, and I don't like the way President Trump's chart looks, because as these transits occur, he has Saturn 0 degrees of Cancer, which is where the Mars-Pluto will exactly conjoin, opposing his natal Saturn in the 12th house, while Mars and Pluto conjoin in his 6th house of health. Now, I also pulled up Sanders' chart, who also has a degree at 0 degrees that Mars and Pluto will be squaring, exact. Joe Biden doesn't look as bad, but he does have Jupiter that's going to be opposed. Jupiter in Cancer. All three have major aspects that will be affected. And I think all three are going to have problems. So watch as this hits the fan, because this is pretty extreme. Now, I want you to know that after the Mars and Pluto come together at 0 degrees of Capricorn, what follows after, thank goodness, is Jupiter. And once Jupiter crosses that degree mark, which will be around March 29th, Jupiter will be in Capricorn. Now this creates a healing. So after these terrifying events crop up and face us, and everyone is blaming everyone, but no one is really to blame, because everyone is guilty of the same thing. Everyone is out there with this virus rampant and doing all the things we're told not to do. So you're going to see that everything is going to explode onto everyone. Now, once Jupiter crosses this degree, there will be a healing. But I don't think that people can continue to blame each other when everyone is actually guilty of the same thing. Now, by March 31st, Mars will conjunct Saturn. This will be at 6 degrees of Capricorn. You can expect delays, setbacks, but what's coming also at this time are major bailouts and economic stimulus packages, things that are going to empower the economy. Because we all know what the stock market's been doing. Haven't I been telling everyone the stock market is going to be like a roller coaster, up and down, up and down. Now that it is down, and I mean it is really down now, it is the time to invest. This is an opportunity. Realize there is so much money out there, so many billionaires. Guess what? When the stock market hits bottom, they invest, which makes it come back up again. It is still going to be going on a roller coaster, but take advantage. Those that took advantage in 2008 and 1987 when the stock market crashed, waited a couple of years, they're glad they did. This is an opportunity, and I want you to know that this is an opportunity in so many ways. And I want you, first of all, to get a handle on your fear, because this fear is breeding more of the disease. Now, how can we eliminate fear? This is the most difficult thing, because this is something to be fearful of. And I don't even think this is all that's going to be happening this year. It's not just about the coronavirus. There's other things that are going to hit, that are going to be extreme and volatile. But for right now, with the fear of this virus, remember this virus, first of all, doesn't usually kill people. But the thing that is terrifying about it, I'll have to admit, is how contagious it is. It seems that it just really is spread in days. This is an incredible virus. But here is something I want to give you about handling your fear. First of all, the only thing that heals fear is trust. See, when we have fear, it's fear of the unknown. We don't know what's going to happen. But when you have trust that you know you will be okay, which you will, especially when you have that trust, you will have a sense of security. A wave of peace will envelop you, just as it has me. Because let me say this, I was having dreams, enormous dreams about people on the other side, people from the past, and I knew that it was a symbol that many people would pass and there was a big change that was coming to planet Earth. I was given so many signs, so many dreams, inclinations, but now this can all change because this is the year of spiritual transformation, and I mean opportunity for spiritual transformation, because Jupiter and Ketu in the sign of Sagittarius, of spiritual truth, and Ketu being the indicator of spirituality. This means this is a spiritual transformational year for all of us. Take this opportunity, because when you have this fear, here's what I ask. To go into a meditative state, to pray, but to get into meditation, even if it's 5 minutes a day, connect with your spirit, to the divinity that is within you, that guidance, and know that you are okay. From that connection within your heart to your divine, I promise you, you will feel a sense of peace, and you will be secure, and you will be protected. So this is what we must all do to still and find the peace within us, because all of this anger, all of this hostility, all of this fear, remember, fear is the root cause for all negative emotion, which is anger, jealousy, resentment. All of that is based on fear. And if you can get a handle into your heart and soul and still yourself and feel that trust, then you will have an effect on healing this disease globally, because this is what is happening. Now, there is so much more that is here to happen, but use this time. So what will come out of all of this? What is the big message? For one thing, I believe there's going to be some monumental progress in healing disease in the world, because as they're looking for a cure for this disease, guess what? There is a cure for other diseases that come about, because when we're searching for one thing, we accidentally fall on discovering other cures for things in this world. So there's going to be enormous healing and a focus in towards finding cures for many, many problems. That's going to be one thing I'm seeing happening. And another thing is the economy. The economy is going to stay down, especially some of those companies that deal with travel, that deal with hospitality. These will stay down for a while, but they will come back. There's going to be a spring back, because Jupiter is actually the planet that heals, and it's there with Ketu. And I know that something positive is coming out, especially with spiritual growth. But for those that stay attached to their fear, for those that cannot get out of their anger, resentment, and hatred, much is going to dissolve for them. And yes, there's going to be major events that are going to be happening this next fall, in September, that we never thought possible again. What is going to be coming up in September? It's a possibility that this virus could return. But aside from that, I see other things far greater, because what happens in September is Rahu and Ketu will shift signs, where Rahu will go into Taurus and Ketu will go into Scorpio. Yes, they're exalted in these signs, but all the other previous times that we have had these shifts, which occurred after the major calamities of Rahu and Ketu in Gemini and Sag, when they shift over, we're dealing with the fallout from before. So the economy will take its time to spring back completely, because in 2002, there were major problems with the economy. But let me say this, in September, Mars is going to turn retrograde. And when it does, anger and hostility are going to break out. Mars will remain retrograde till November 14th. And when it stations again, this will be when incredible anger, hostility, protest, and extreme emotions will hit the streets, because on election day, we have Mercury stationing at 0 degrees. Yes, no, Mercury will station, and it will be on the day of election. The last time that this happened was the year of 2000. Do you remember what happened on election day in 2000 when we had President Gore no, I take that back. Runner Al Gore with President Bush? We didn't know who the president was for a long time. This will happen again. And by November 14th, when Mars is stationing, you're going to find riots, you're going to find civil war, you're going to find people protesting. Everything is going to go out the roof. And then by December 14th, we have a solar eclipse at 28 degrees of Scorpio. Yes, Gandanta. Not only that, it conjuncts President. Yes, it affects President Trump's natal moon and opposes his sun, activates his lunar eclipse, natal lunar eclipse that he has from the 4th and the 10th house. This is incredible. Never before are we going to see events like this again. And let me just say this. By the time we come to inauguration, the chart for inauguration is so radical and extreme that I believe whoever is elected to be president will wish they hadn't. And furthermore, remember this, that Jupiter and Saturn will come together in Capricorn, will conjoin in Capricorn. The last time that they were in Capricorn was in 1961, when they were together and conjoined in that sign. Remember in 1961, that was when President Kennedy was reelected. By the end of March, first of all, March 29th, when Jupiter hits 0 degrees of Capricorn, things will have to improve. And then by the time we have Mars conjunct Saturn, there will be major, major setbacks, but this is going to be the time that many things are implemented by the government to rebuild, to make it a better place. And this will work towards change, positive change in the month of May. By the time we get to June, this whole virus thing will look like a dream. But then we have another whole host of events that will be coming around the corner by that solar eclipse that happens on June 21st. So, wow, are things going to change? Are we on a ride, a roller coaster ride for things to come? But you can find your peace and you can find your spiritual direction by going within and connecting to that divinity. And remember, the only thing that heals in this world is love. So connect with that, and you, your family, will be As a matter of fact, good. Not okay, good. So I want to close. So if you would like more information on me or you would like a consultation, go to my website, which is galacticcenter.org. Or if you would like to learn Vedic astrology, go to my university website, which is University of Vedic Astrology.com. But don't forget, if you want a transcription of all of this written out, delivered to your email address, go to my website, which is galacticcenter.org, and sign up for my free newsletter. And with that, many blessings to you, and bless you and your families. Thank you.